Hi, friends. Today, I want to share a new story with you. I hope you enjoy it. The rain was pouring that night, every drop hitting the ground like a sharp sting. I walked slowly through the city, my mind heavy with the pain from my breakup with Lillian. The hurt in my chest felt endless, reminding me of the future I had lost. The doctor's words kept echoing in my head. You are infertile, Douglas. You will never be able to have biological children. Lillian leaving me made it all worse, leaving me feeling empty and hopeless. As I walked past a dark alley, I saw a figure sitting against the wall, holding a small bundle. My heart tightened as I saw a homeless woman with her baby. She looked up at me, her eyes full of fear and desperation. I couldn't just leave her there. Hey, I called softly, walking closer. Do you need help? She paused, then nodded. My name is Antonia, she said quietly, and this is Piper. I'm Douglas, I replied. Why don't you come with me? I have a spare room where you can stay for the night. Antonia looked unsure. Are you sure? We don't want to be a burden. You're not a burden, I reassured her. Let's get you and Piper out of this rain. At my apartment, I made some tea while Antonia settled Piper in the guest room. The baby's soft sounds filled the quiet, and for the first time in a while, my place felt full of life. Over tea, Antonia told me a little about her life. She had lost her job and home and ended up on the streets. Piper's father had left when he found out she was pregnant. As I listened, I felt deep sympathy and something else, an unexpected connection. I had been lost in my own pain, but seeing Antonia's strength made me feel something stir inside me. That night, I lay in bed thinking, maybe there was still a purpose for me, a way to find meaning in my broken life. The next morning, I woke to the sound of Piper laughing. It was a sweet, pure sound that filled the apartment with warmth. I found Antonia in the kitchen, trying to make breakfast with Piper in her arms. Good morning, I said, taking in the peaceful scene. It felt oddly comforting. Morning, Antonia replied, giving me a shy smile. I hope you don't mind, I was just trying to make some breakfast. Not at all, I said, stepping in to help. Together, we made a simple meal and sat down to eat. Piper, with her wide eyes and toothless smile, brought so much joy. Her presence was a bright contrast to the emptiness I had been feeling. Over the next few days, Antonia and Piper became part of my routine. Antonia wanted to find a job and a place of her own, but I insisted they stay until she got back on her feet. It wasn't just for her, I needed them just as much as they needed me. One evening, after Piper had fallen asleep, Antonia and I sat in the living room, the fire casting shadows on the walls. She told me more about her struggles and the hopes she had for Piper's future. Listening to her, I felt protective of her. You don't have to do this alone, I said. Let me help you. Antonia looked at me, tears in her eyes. Why are you so kind to us, Douglas? I took a deep breath, feeling a lump in my throat. Because I know what it's like to feel hopeless, I said, and in some strange way, you and Piper have given me a reason to keep going. That night, as I lay in bed, I realized that my sadness was slowly being replaced with a new sense of purpose. The pain from my past was still there, but it didn't feel impossible anymore. Antonia and Piper were bringing light into my life, one small moment at a time. Weeks passed, and Antonia and Piper became a bigger part of my life. We shared meals, laughter, and built a routine. Slowly, a strong bond formed between us. I began looking forward to coming home, eager to see Piper's bright face and hear Antonia's voice. One cool autumn afternoon, Antonia and I took Piper to the park. The leaves were bright red and gold, creating a beautiful scene. Piper giggled as she played in the leaves, her laughter contagious. She's so full of life, I said, watching Piper with a smile. She is, Antonia agreed, her eyes soft as she watched her daughter. Thank you, Douglas. I don't know where we would be without you. I should be thanking you, I said, turning to her. You brought so much joy into my life, both of you. Antonia took my hand and squeezed it. We're in this together, she said. We can help each other. In that moment, I felt a deep connection with Antonia. It was more than just gratitude. It felt like the start of something deeper, something that could heal both of our broken hearts. As the days passed, Antonia and I grew closer. She found a job at a bakery, and I began looking after Piper while she worked. Piper's laughter filled my days, bringing warmth and joy, healing my soul. One evening, after dinner, Antonia looked at me with a serious face. Douglas, I want to pay rent and help with the household expenses. You've done so much for us, and it's time I gave back. I smiled and shook my head. You don't need to worry about that. Having you here is more than enough. But I insist, she said, sounding firm. I want to feel like I'm contributing, like I'm not just a burden. You're not a burden, I reassured her, but if it makes you feel better, we can figure something out. We agreed on a small contribution, and I could see the relief in her eyes. Regaining her independence and self-worth was important to her, and supporting her in that made me feel good. It gave me a sense of purpose I hadn't felt in a long time. As winter arrived, our bond grew even stronger. We spent evenings by the fire, talking about our hopes and dreams. Piper, feeling more secure, was thriving. Her laughter echoed through the apartment, a constant reminder of the life we were building together. One snowy evening, after putting Piper to bed, Antonia and I sat on the couch, sipping hot cocoa. The firelight created a cozy, intimate mood. Antonia looked at me, her eyes reflecting the flames. "Douglas, can I ask you something?" she said softly. "Of course," I replied, my heart racing a little. "Do you ever think about the future, about us?" I took a deep breath, feeling my heart beat faster. "I do," I admitted, "every day." Antonia's eyes widened in surprise. "You do?" "Yes," I said, reaching for her hand. "Antonia, you and Piper are so important to me. I can't imagine my life without you." Tears filled her eyes as she squeezed my hand. "I feel the same way, Douglas, but I was afraid to say it, afraid it might mess things up." "You could never mess this up," I said firmly. "I love you, Antonia, and I love Piper. I want to be part of your lives for as long as you'll have me." Antonia's tears fell, and she leaned in, kissing me gently. It was a kiss full of unspoken promises and shared feelings. In that moment, I knew we had something truly special. After the kiss, Antonia rested her head on my shoulder, and I wrapped my arms around her. We sat quietly, the warmth of the fire and our new love surrounding us. For the first time in a long while, I felt peaceful, knowing I had finally found my place in the world. The following months were life-changing. Antonia and Piper became a natural part of my life, filling the emptiness I had felt before. My once quiet, cold apartment was now alive with laughter and love. Piper's giggles echoed through the rooms, and Antonia's cooking filled the air with delicious smells. It was like the house itself was alive, reflecting the joy and purpose I now had in my heart. One evening in autumn, after a wonderful dinner, we sat together in the living room. Piper played with her colorful blocks on a blanket, and Antonia and I shared the couch, her hand in mine. The fire crackled, casting a golden light around us. "I've been thinking," I said, breaking the quiet. Antonia looked at me, her eyes full of curiosity. "About the future, about us?" She smiled, her eyes softening. "I've been thinking about that too." Taking a deep breath, I continued, "I know we've been through a lot, and I know it hasn't always been easy, but I can't imagine my life without you and Piper. You've given me a reason to wake up every day, a purpose I thought I'd lost." Antonia squeezed my hand, her eyes starting to fill with tears. "You've done the same for us, Douglas. You've given us a home, stability, and so much love. I never thought we could be this happy again." "I want to make it official," I said, my voice shaking with emotion. "I want us to be a family in every way. Will you marry me?" Antonia's eyes went wide with surprise, and for a moment, she couldn't speak. Then, with a bright smile, she nodded. "Yes, Douglas, yes, I will marry you." We hugged tightly, the moment feeling completely right. Piper, sensing our happiness, crawled over to us and babbled excitedly, making us both laugh. It was perfect, perfectly perfect, and it was ours. The next few months were filled with wedding plans. We decided on a small, intimate ceremony to celebrate our love with the people who mattered most. Our friends and colleagues, who had seen how much I had changed, congratulated and supported us. It was heartwarming to see how our love had touched others. On a sunny spring day, we stood in a beautiful garden, surrounded by blooming flowers and our closest friends. Piper, in a little white dress and a flower crown, toddled around, making everyone smile. Antonia looked beautiful in her simple, elegant gown, her eyes glowing with happiness. As we exchanged vows, I thought about how far we'd come, from that rainy night to this moment of pure joy. It had been a tough journey, full of heartache, but also with unexpected blessings and endless love. "I promise to love and care for you, Antonia, and to be the best father I can be to Piper," I said, my voice full of emotion. "You brought light into my life, and I'll spend my days showing you both how much you mean to me." Antonia's voice quivered as she responded, "I promise to stand by your side, Douglas, through everything life brings. You're the love I never thought I'd find, and together we'll build a beautiful future for Piper and us." The officiant pronounced us husband and wife, and we shared a soft kiss, sealing our vows. Our friends and family cheered, and Piper clapped her hands, joining the celebration. As we walked down the aisle hand in hand, with Piper between us, I felt so thankful. Life had been tough, but we had come through stronger and more united. Antonia and Piper had not just come into my life, they had changed it, turning my despair into hope and loneliness into belonging. Our new life wasn't without challenges, but we faced them together, with love and strength. Antonia found a job she loved, helping our family while following her passions. Piper continued to grow, her laughter and curiosity bringing us constant joy. One evening, while we sat on the porch watching Piper play, Antonia turned to me and said, "Douglas, thank you for everything, for taking us in, for loving us, and for giving us a future I never thought was possible." I smiled, my heart full. "I should be the one thanking you, Antonia. You and Piper saved me. You gave me a reason to live and love again. Together, we've created something beautiful." As we sat there, watching the sunset with the promise of a new day ahead, I knew that whatever the future held, we would face it together, as a family. Sometimes, standing up for yourself is the hardest thing to do, but it's also the most powerful. To anyone out there dealing with a difficult family situation, remember this: you deserve to be treated with respect. Never let anyone make you feel less than you are. If you liked this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. I'd love to hear your thoughts or any similar experiences. Share them below. Until next time, take care and stay strong.